Well, hello, hello, and welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. I am your host, Melissa Kerman, and I've got a super fun project for you today. Maybe something you've seen, maybe something you haven't seen. I'm experimented with something a little bit different today. It may be something you haven't seen, which is kind of fun to share. And I'm showing a bunch of different fun products as part of this project. So I think you're going to really like it. Now, the ones I'm going to do today were inspired by or are variations of my Color Fusers Blog Hop project, which went live this past Monday. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color scheme. I am in love with this color scheme. I actually picked the color scheme. And some of the colors are actually retiring soon because they are some of the 2022-24 in colors. So if you don't have these colors yet, you're going to want them. And if I don't convince you want them today, I don't know what else I could do. I think you're going to love them. Of course, people have very different color preferences. So who knows? We'll see. When you join in, please say hello, comment, let me know you're out there, and do tag your friends, share this video with anybody you think that might enjoy it. We got some fun paper crafting to share with you tonight. So want as many people to enjoy it as possible. So let's see. Yeah. And yeah, comment. Let me know you can hear me. I always get worried that for some reason I'm not being heard, and that's, whatever. We don't want to be live and not be heard. So yeah, so comment and let me know if you're out there. So I do have a couple of little quick reminders, things that are going on today. We'll just go through that super quick. I've got the host code. That is my current host code. If you place an order, use that code and you'll get perks from me. If your order is over 150, do not use the code. Then you'll get host rewards and perks from me. Hi, Lauralee. Hi, Jen. Thank you so much for commenting and saying hello. We've also got Stampin' Up is offering 11 new Sale-A-Bration Freebies. Now, this started on February 1st. So exciting. 2 of those new 11 items are level 2 items, $200 items. When you spend, when you spend $100, you get those items. Or we get to pick one of those items, I should say. And then 9 of those are level 1 or items that you get when you spend $50. So go check those out. The new 11 items are things that are actually in the current catalog. So am I using one of them today? No, but I think I'm using one of them in my Maker's MOJO presentation. So, or one of the variations. So yeah, bringing some of those back, which is fun. All right. The Winter Makers Mojo Creative Escape event is coming up next week. Oh my gosh. The event is live next Friday. So super excited. There's all kinds of fun stuff happening in the event group right now. We have play along posts for prize drawings. There are 10 of those plus 5 door prizes. So definitely if you're going to participate in the Makers Mojo event, sign up soon. Get into that event group happening now. We have lots of fun conversations happening with the play along posts. Hi, Robin. So good to see you here. And you saw my little sneak peek. Yes, I am using a mask tonight, or one of the sets of masks. And I'm going to use a different one than you saw in the sample because I've got to mix it up, right? So it should be super fun. What else? Yes, you guys know you can get free products during Sale-A-Bration with each $50 you spend. And there's an amazing joining special going on right now. Some of the details are there, but I've linked everything in the description of this video so you can check it out. And we're going to finish up with that for now. Okay, we might bring that in at the end, just as some quick reminders. Hi, Sharon. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for commenting and letting me know you're out there. All right, so a couple of things. So first of all, you want to see the full project, right? So this was on my blog on Monday. I absolutely adore this. Okay, it's got a sparkle in there. We're using the shimmery white shimmer paste is what it's called. Shimmery white embossing paste, and we're using some masks. So this is the version that I made for the blog hop, and I'm going to do some different versions. Oh yay, somebody gave me a heart. Give me hearts. I like it when you give me hearts. And then there's my inside. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to leave that there on the table because this is kind of a messy kind of process. So I don't want to risk getting it on my piece. So I'm even going to bring in this really ugly plastic piece to protect my work surface so we don't make a mess on my work surface. Hi, Trisha. Good to see you here. Thanks for saying hello. All right, I'm going to bring in just a scrap of paper here. Now, for this, you could use washi tape. I'm using some painter's tape, just some really basic painter's tape to hold my mask down. And to do this, you're going to want a palette knife. Now, this is the set of 3 that Stampin' Up sells. So you get them, you get the full set of 3. I'm going to be using this small one today. And then we've got our shimmery white embossing paste. Now, the masks that I'm using are the 4 square decorative masks. Those are in the annual catalog. And there are 4 different patterns or shapes, different masks that are in there. This is the one that I used on the card, the original card. And then there are 3 others. So I haven't actually decided which one I'm going to use. There's this one, which I think is really pretty. Let's bring a piece of paper in so you can see it. And the original one, just so that you can get that detail there. That one's probably the busiest one, but it's a really nice, simple pattern. I like this one as well. So that's the original one. This is number 1 alternative. Number 2, very simple. And this is the 3rd one. Now, I do want to give credit where credit is due. The project that I'm doing today was inspired by something that Joe Blackman did during, I think it was the last Maker's Mojo. Maybe it was 2 Maker's Mojos ago. She did a bunch of projects with masks. And this is kind of a jumping off point of some of one of the things that she shared. On black cardstock, which I just love. So dramatic and fun. Okay, so I'm going to start with a quarter sheet of cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm not going to use this whole thing. I'm going to cut it up, but I like to have a big piece, so then I'll have extra pieces and scraps and whatnot that I can use for my inside and to cut up and use in different ways. So we're going to start with a big piece and cut it down. Now, here's the hard part. Picking which mask to use. If we do this one, it's going to have a little bit of black and a lot of color. This one's going to have a lot more black. And of course, that one, so conflicted. Which one to do? I think we'll try this one just for the heck of it. I haven't really done anything with this one. So we'll have a bunch more black. So that'll be a little bit different. So I'm going to start with putting a little bit of adhesive on my work surface so that I can tack down my piece. I don't want it to move when I'm working. And then we're going to bring this one in right here. And I'm just going to tape it down with my painter's tape. And I've actually got it folded back on itself so that I can put it down, but then it's easy. It has a little flap there to pull it up. That's one thing I like to do with tape with many different applications. All right, so now, actually, I need another piece of paper. Got another scrap of paper over here. I'm going to use this for my embossing paste. So let's grab this and open it up. I got an aluminum foil in there. And I'm just going to do 4 little dollops of my shimmer paste. So you can see it looks kind of off-white, but it's got a shimmeriness to it. I love anything with shimmer. Now, these bottles of shimmer paste or the embossing paste don't last forever, I will say. I had one bottle a while back and I neglected to use it and it actually kind of dried out. So you want to make sure it's well sealed and that you don't take forever to use it. So just word to the wise, maybe I didn't fully close that particular bottle. So I am not going to make the same mistake with this bottle. All right, so put that off to the side. So I've got my 4 little dollops there. Hi, Melissa. Good to see you here. Welcome. And again, comment if you're joining in. Say hello. So I've got 4 colors here. Gorgeous Scrape is one of them. You guys know I am a purple lover. And I am going to put that one over here. Just 1 drop 1 drop goes a long way. And then I'm going to use my Tahitian Tide. Now, Tahitian Tide is one of the 22-24 ink colors that's retiring. So I'm already crying. Who else is already crying about these colors going away? This next one is Orchid Oasis. That's also an ink color going away. We'll get new ones, and that's great. But I am definitely going to be missing these ones. These are colors that I want to come back, especially Starry Sky. I love this color, but the combination of these colors is also just, I would call it, I use the word sumptuous. Isn't that a good word? I like the word sumptuous. All righty. So we're going to start with lightest color first and go to the darkest color. And that way I can keep using this, my palette knife, and not worry too much about mixing the colors. So we're going to start with our Tahitian Tide, and I'm just going to mix that up. I might need another piece because I have a lot of paste here, and I'm not going to want to waste it. All right, mixing it up. Okay. And then let's just start putting it in various spots. You don't actually have to cover the whole thing, but I will say that you definitely want a good amount of the light, because it really adds a lot to this, the end product, to have the light. And what ends up happening with this is that the Tahitian Tide and the Gorgeous Grape tend to show up the most, and they give you some nice highs and lows, the combination of this set of colors. So we got our Gorgeous Grape. I'm kind of just picking some random spots to put it so they're sort of spaced out. Usually I'd be thinking about a 3 and 5 thing, but I don't know how much I'm going to worry about that, like you do with a bouquet. I've heard you should smoosh some saran wrap down in there to keep the air out. Oh, a good idea. Makes me think of avocado. I do that with my avocado or guacamole. Put some saran wrap over it so the air doesn't get onto it and make it all brown. Anybody else do that? Okay, so this next color is Orchid Oasis, and I'm ending up going to be covering most of this. I kind of want to make sure I don't do everything, because I want to have some spots that don't have any color also, just to make it look a little bit organic. Okay, so there's my Orchid Oasis. Now let's mix up our darkest color, which is the Starry Sky. Has anybody played with the embossing paste? Comment and share if you have. I have not played with it very much, and it is really fun, the things that I've seen people do with it. And of course, as you can see, you can add color to it. You do any color you want. If you're doing it on black or doing it on white, just super fun. Okay. Now I'm tempted to do another one. Let's see if I have another one, because I have all this extra here and I don't want it to go to waste. Here, let's do this. I'm going to grab a white piece and do something different. I keep quarter sheets of cardstock. This is actually for my insides. So we're going to actually just pick that up, and we're going to do another one, but in the white. Okay, so let's actually, okay, so this is wet, so I don't want to let that come down on it, but there's what we got so far. So now I'm tempted to actually do a different mask. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so before we go to a different mask, this is the thing that maybe you haven't seen, and I don't know if you guys have heard this expression, but I've heard people say that an artist is somebody who is willing to try anything, but knows what to not use. Now, somebody shared that with me once, and I thought that was just kind of brilliant. So I am definitely willing to try anything, whether I decide what, my decisions around what to use and not to use, who knows? You could be the decider of that. But anyway, so here's the crazy thing that I'm going to try here. I'm going to take my spritzer bottle here, and I'm going to spray on top of my paste right there, because there's a whole bunch right on the surface there, and why not use it if I can? So I'm going to literally put that down on there. And then I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper I have sitting around. I'm going to press it onto it. Let's see what we get. We'll decide if it's actually worthy of using. And this actually partially is going to clean it off too, which is handy. So, ooh, could be kind of interesting. So we've got our negative space of those little hash marks. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that aside. When it dries, well, you know, we'll be able to tell whether it's of use or not. And then I'm going to actually take, oh, I think I should do it again. I'm going to grab another piece of white and spray on here. Use a brayer. That's a good idea. Just to press it down, you mean? I can do that. This brayer, I have a brayer over here, but it might be dirty. If it's dirty, it's just going to get ink on the backside, but that's okay. Let's grab another piece of scrap paper so I don't get, yeah, that's not actually big enough. I'm going to make sure I don't get the paste on my brayer. Brayer is a good idea. This is the new brayer, the new Stampin' Up brayer. Okay, let's see what we got there. Doesn't look like there was much ink on there, if any. Okay, we're just going to see what we can get out of this extra residual paste. And then because I have extra paste here, I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to take this mask and put it into a bin of water that I have over here, just because I don't want it to dry on here. I want to make sure that it's easy to wash. So I've just got a basin off to the side with some water in it. If I were doing this not on camera, I'd probably run into the bathroom, but since I'm on camera, I need a different solution. Okay, so next step, I'm going to grab another piece of scrap paper. And because this one is now pretty dirty, and we're going to do another one, because why not? And this time I'm going to use white, and I'll put a little bit of adhesive on the back side, just like I did. And we're going to use a different mask because I want to do that. And I have extra paste, so why not? Now I just have to find where I put the masks. I know they're sitting here somewhere right nearby. Here we go. Okay, so I think I'm going to do this one because I think it'll be pretty interesting, and I can't really show that. Okay, you guys can see that a little bit better. That's got a lot more open space, so we'll get more paste on there. And it'll allow us to have spots that are, you know, maybe not fully covering the whole thing. So each one of these masks is going to give us a different look. You guys know how much I love to play. Hi, Cindy. I didn't say hello to you. Oh, thank you for sharing the video. Appreciate that. Okay. Now I've got the starry sky on there, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And this is going to be a test of how quickly this dries. So we got our starry sky. You can really see it against the white. And then I'm just going backwards and do my Orchid Oasis. Just going to use all of that up. Gorgeous scrape. So I talk about card salad, you guys, and this is what gives me all this card salad, because I do all this playing and experimenting, and then I got all these leftover pieces that I need to find something fun to do with them. It's crazy. Okay, so now we're doing the Tahitian Tide. You can see I'm being pretty haphazard about this. I'm just trying to use up all that lovely paste, and none of it goes to waste. Mixing some of the colors. Okay, let's call that done. And then, because I'm now going to have the same thing, let's see if we can do that same spray thing. We'll get our piece out of the way. Okay, so now we get to reveal what I got there. It's stuck to my paper, of course. So there's that one. I do really like the dramatic black, but you know, it's okay. We're experimenting, right? Okay, and then next I'm going to take my spray bottle again, and I'm going to go spray this whole thing to get that residual. Spraying it pretty generously, as you can hear. And then we'll go ahead and put that down. And I'm just going to use my hand because I don't have a big piece handy. Don't want to get that on the brayer. I'm so glad you think it's going to turn out so pretty, Cindy. Yes, it's fun to color the paste. And once I start doing something like this, I want to do it like not just in the colors that I start with, but I want to do it in other colors too. I could just do this forever. You guys know I just absolutely can't ever get enough of this craft. I'm telling you. And of course, these colors. Ooh, I kind of like that one. That one turned out pretty. I got kind of a nice print, if you will. It's really different, but you can see the glitter in there. Nice and distinctive. Okay, so putting all those aside, they're all off to the side. They're going to take a little bit of time to dry. They should be dry by the time I finish with this demonstration. So I won't necessarily be able to create a finished project with them, but we'll get to at least see what the finished projects look like. And I'm going to take my palette knife and this other mask, and I'm going to go ahead. Oh, look at that's kind of fun. I love these masks. And I'm going to put them into my little basin of water so they can start soaking off to the side. And maybe I need to wet my fingers a little bit, clean them off. Turn that over here in my bin, my basin. And it's always good to have a towel handy when you're doing this sort of thing. All right, and then this is just going to go into the garbage. Now I have this lovely plastic sheet, so my whole space is, well, pretty much clean. Didn't make a mess, and that makes me happy. Controlled mess. I'm all about controlled mess, okay? So we'll bring those finished ones in, and as soon as they're dry, I'll test them every once in a while. So what I'm going to do here is just give you a little background. So when I did this card, I did a piece that was similar in size to that quarter sheet that I showed you at the beginning. And when I went to go start designing, I didn't want to use the whole thing. I didn't want it to be the complete background. I wanted it to be a little bit more special by making it small. So I cut off a piece and designed this card. And then I had a leftover piece. And I thought, well, I'm going to just kind of use this sort of basic design, use that other piece and design another card with that piece. So that brings me to what I'm going to show you here. So for this one, I've got a basic black card base, and I'm using a base piece of Gorgeous Scrape. And then I'm also using a piece of the Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper. So you might notice that in the background, there's this beautiful textured piece in there. That's a piece of the Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper. Now I have just a little sampler here of all the sheets. So I'm just going to quickly show you those because it's just gorgeous paper and I've really not played with it at all. And I'm only using kind of the most subtle piece of them all. So it's worthy of just showing you guys if you haven't seen it before. So there's that. So pretty. Love these patterns. I can't wait to play with some of these, you know, more distinctive patterns. Why does it seem like I have more than 6? I love that one. I love it. Okay, so anyway, that's the Perennial Lavender paper. Put that off to the side there. And so I've cut a piece of the Perennial Lavender to give me just a little hair of an edge. And I do have adhesive on the back side already. It's always such a shame to cover up a pretty pattern like that. But I do love this kind of textured purple. It's, yeah, so much fun to play, yes. Okay, so I have about, the designer paper is about 1/8 of an inch less, maybe a hair more than 1/8 of an inch less, so that I have just the nice tiny little Gorgeous Scrape border. and then the patterned paper there. And I think I tried it without the extra layer, and I just really liked it with that added solid line of gorgeous scrape. So then that's just going to go on the front of my card body. And then I kind of took the same basic design concept, but I turned it this way, and the flowers are kind of oriented that way, but you're never going to notice it. It's just kind of a texture in there. And I wanted to create the sort of same look. So this is the piece that was left over from here. Okay. And it is the same length as that piece. And it's continuous. I'm not sure which side I took it off of, but, and then I've got a piece of Starry Sky. So I have adhesive on the backs of these pieces. I've already done it just to kind of speed that along. And now orientation is important here because it's only going to have an edge that's even on the top and the left and right. I've got an extra bit on the bottom. So just like this design, I've got an extra bit of the Starry Sky on the bottom. So I did the same thing on this. It's just oriented differently. And I want the part that's not like all filled in to be showing on the bottom, not on the top. I found that that sort of looked a little bit better. And again, I just have the smallest little border on the top left and right, leaving me with a little extra space down there at the bottom. And then I'm going to take a piece of my metallic woven ribbon. And again, this is, which color is this? I always get them mixed up. This is the Starry Sky, which actually has sort of a bluish look in the ribbon. And we're going to attach a piece around the back. So you could tie it around, but in this case, I'm going to actually put, well, I've got adhesive on the back already, that piece. So this is kind of a way of taking the same design concept and just reorienting it and using this extra piece. So a lot of times when I design, I'm just using the size piece that I had and using that as the basis for the design rather than, so we like as a leftover piece, right? So this is going to determine my design is this piece, as opposed to me having to decide it just randomly. All right, so now this piece is going to mount to here. It's got a little bit of a thicker edge on all the sides. Trisha, these are your favorite colors? Yes, I just adore these. I swear, I've never loved Stampin' Up! Colors any more than these. I'm telling you. I mean, there are colors I've loved over the years. I've been doing this for 20 years, almost 21 years, by the way, guys. March is my 21st anniversary. March 15th. I'm going to be on stage for on March 15th, which is my anniversary. So fun. And I'm actually going to be with some of my team members, Trisha being one of them who's here with us tonight, and Robin and Amy and Pam. Amy is actually she shares an anniversary with me. So March 15th is her anniversary as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator as well. Some years after me, but still same anniversary. So we're going to have a blast. So excited. All right. Anyway, I get distracted. So there's my focal piece so far, so fun. And that's coming up in March and going to be very fun. Very, very excited. Okay. So now instead of tying it around and tying a bow or a knot, I'm going to just do that little trick where I've wrapped it around, attached it, and now I'm going to tie my knot. This is a great way to conserve your ribbon. And I don't know if you can tell, but I am almost out of this ribbon. That's all I got left. So I might want to be using some of this on my other pieces that I've just created. So I have to make sure not to use very much of it at all. Use as little as possible. Okay. So either that or I have to buy a new roll, even though it's retiring. Maybe because it's retiring. So, okay, so now I'm just going to trim that off. And I actually like it when the little ends fray. So I'm going to intentionally fray those ends. It's probably, you guys know how I am. I do that with the gold and silver Simply Elegant trim also. I'm just going to fan those little fibers out. Makes it look kind of pretty and fancy, but also still kind of delicate. Love that. All right, I've got my little fibers here. Okay, so now for this piece here, I'm going to actually pop it up a little bit, but true to form these days, I can't get myself to use dimensionals these days. I want more subtle dimension. So you're going to laugh, but I have in a file folder a bunch of leftover scraps of early espresso. These ones are full 11 inches long. I might find some purpose for them, but my latest purpose for them, I'm keeping them right here by my desk because I'm cutting them down so that I can use them as layers in behind for popping up my focal pieces. So I don't know if you've heard me say this before. This is kind of a new realization. The 5 layers of cardstock is essentially the equivalent of a full height of dimensionals. Pretty cool little bit of information, right? Because if you want subtle dimension, you can do, 1, 2, 3, or 4 layers of cardstock and get some more, different thicknesses of dimension instead of just feeling limited by having to use dimensionals. Dimensionals have their place, but like I said, these days I just seem to want more subtle dimension, and I get to use all these leftover scraps of cardstock that would otherwise just go to waste. So we're doing, that's the first layer. And I don't know about you guys, but I have tons of scraps sitting around of all different sizes, and I love to use and take advantage of all of that. It's like recycle, reuse, all that good stuff. I am super excited about that milestone. I mean, last year, 20 years was major. To hit 21, it's just kind of nuts. Like, I can't even believe that I've been doing this for almost 21 years. And I still love it, as you can tell. All right, so we're going to just put that on there and see how we feel about the 2 thickness of cardstock. And I think it's enough. I really just want a little bit of subtle dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and just attach this down. The other thing that I like to do is have an acrylic block handy, and I'll just grab one here. Here, this is something my upline gave me when I promoted to Silver Elite. Pretty cool, huh? So I like to have an acrylic block, and I just kind of hold it down there, and it keeps it all in place and helps it to be flat and stay flat. Especially with the white glue, that can be something that makes sense and is handy. All right, so now I am going to put a sentiment on here. I played around with a couple of different colors to do that with because that's what I do. So I have one heat embossed in black on Orchid Oasis, another one done in Gorgeous Scrape, and another one done in the Starry Sky. So we'll lay them out and see what you guys think of them. Those are stamped using this Everyday Details stamp set, that sentiment right there. I am loving this set. I am telling you, I have made what I think are some absolutely, I know I'm full of myself here, stunning projects for Maker's Mojo, one of my presentations, with a couple of these images and some of the sentiments. So pretty. These projects are so pretty. If you haven't signed up for Maker's Mojo, you must do it. There's links in the description of the video. And this stamp set has a set of dies that go with it right there, the Everyday Details dies. I especially love those 2 small ones in the center, but I've used some of the outer ones as well for some of the projects that you'll see in Maker's Mojo if you attend. If you join my team, you can also get the event for free. Your first event is free, first Maker's Mojo event. So it's a great perk, I think, that team members get for joining the Treehouse Chicks team. All right, that looks pretty solid and perfect. So let's go ahead and attach it, and then we can try our sentiments on there and see what you guys think. I kind of have decided what my favorite is already. So we'll see. Oh, Cindy, you like the Orchid Oasis? Well, you got to see it on the card to really know which one you especially like. At least that's my opinion. All right, so let's get this on here. Make sure it's even. This is white glue, so I can sort of slide it around, get it in place. And then I do want to actually put my block on top so that it holds it flat. But before I do that, let's do a quick. So there's my starry sky. I'm planning to put it down there. It's kind of dark on there, although I'm going to give away my opinions here. Let's do it on the white. You can see it better. That's the starry sky. Here's the Orchid Oasis. You can vote. Let me know what you think. Orchid Oasis. I think it's a stunning card too. Thank you, Cindy. Oh, I like it when people agree with me. I think you just can't go wrong with this black with the shiny sparkly and that shape. Oh my gosh, it's just to die for, I think. So Cindy, you like the Orchid Oasis? So again, that's the Gorgeous Scrape, Orchid Oasis, and Starry Sky. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a second to vote. Let me know what you think. And while I do it, I'm going to actually did a little inside piece, pretty straightforward. Just took a tiny little strip of that perennial lavender designer paper, put it along the bottom. That was a scrap, so it's just left over. Okay, I see a gorgeous scrape, a grape or oasis. Thank you for voting, you guys. Let me know what you think. Okay, so there's my inside, pretty simple little inside. While you guys keep chiming in, just a few little details about this one. There will be a PDF tutorial for it in next week's newsletter, next Wednesday. I've used the alphabet a la mode to do that little high, and I put Gorgeous Scrape in behind the letters. And of course, I'm using the black negative space for that. Now, one of the little tricks that I use to hold my letters in place when I'm doing and using a negative space piece is I use press and seal to hold the letters in place while I'm die cutting it so that I can use that negative space. Now, I'll show you. I actually still have in here one of the pieces that I had put onto press and seal. So this is my little friend. And I did the letters sort of back and forth so they'd be a little bit at angles. But this is an example, right? It holds onto that press and seal, and I can take it off, whenever I want to. But holds it in place really well for when you're die cutting and you want to use that negative space. So there's that. What else have I used on there? Okay, I think I pretty much covered everything else that I used on there. So I'm looking at your votes. Orchid Oasis, Grape, Starry Sky. All right. Well, I see more Gorgeous Scrapes than anything else. And maybe that's just my bias because that's the one that I like. Now, I will say that the pictures of this card on my website are actually with the Orchid Oasis in behind instead of the Gorgeous Scrape. And I changed my mind afterwards. So I have this card on there, but most of the pictures don't have the Gorgeous Scrape in behind the high. Anyway, you can't go wrong, I think. It's just beautiful. So I think I need to do the Gorgeous Scrape just because it kind of stands out a little bit more and it kind of connects with that outside Gorgeous Scrape and sort of kind of ties it all together. I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. But if I chose one, it would probably be between that one and that one. And a lot of times I'll go off camera and I'll be like, oh, I changed my mind. So what I'm going to do to attach this, because the paste is not exactly, something that's going to stick to regular adhesive, is I'm going to use my glue dots. I'm going to kind of eyeball where that thing is and see what I'm basically covering up and where I can put my glue dots. And I'm going to put them where there is cardstock or, so it has something to hold on to. It was covering that spot. Okay, I'm using my finger to hold it down. Okay, let's see where else. Okay, so you guys can see I'm kind of going back and forth in my mind between that Orchid Oasis and the grape. I don't know, maybe I have to do the Orchid Oasis. Oh, this is what happens when I design. It's like, and you know what I'll do sometimes is I'll take a picture of the project with various options on it. And then I see what it looks like on camera, because somehow that's kind of gives you a different take on it. And how it shows up on camera is good, important too, right? Because that's what you guys are going to end up seeing. And I'm putting on 2 layers of dimensional or glue dots here, because I kind of want it to be a little bit popped up. Again, that subtle dimension, I think, really is really nice. Okay, so as you can see, I've kind of ended up going with the Orchid Oasis. So there we go. Now I have some embellishments that I could possibly add to this, but I don't know that it needs anything else. I don't know about you guys, but I have these really pretty ones that I love. And then these ones are the in color ones. This is the full set of those in colors, but I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. If you guys think one of these embellishments would work well, comment and let me know. Should I bother with that? Now I have another card, and I wanted to show you this one because when I initially did my experimenting where I sprayed the mask and lifted it onto white, this was what I came up with the first time. And I really liked that texture. So I decided I had to make a card with it. I've used some of these embellishments. These are the Purple Fine Shimmer Gems, part of the Perennial Lavender Suite. I think that's Blackberry Bliss, Highland Heather, and Gorgeous Scrape. Love those colors. Can't go wrong with those colors. So I heat embossed that sentiment in white. That's also from the Everyday Details stamp set. And then fussy cut it out and just attached it on some glue dots. And then I created an element to go on here as well. I'm not gonna actually make the slide, but I wanted to show you anyway. So I'm using that little teacup, this adorable little teacup. I've die cut the die from those Everyday Details dies, and the background die is from the Stylish Shapes dies. So these ones, I've used that circle for the background, and then the second largest circle in the Everyday Details dies for this dotted piece, and stamped it with Memento Black, and then colored it in with all the colors that I'm playing with here today. Put a little bit of that magnetic metallic ribbon on the back. And I fussed with that ribbon quite a bit. Don't think that I just like whipped that out in 2 seconds. Some demonstrators do that. And it's like, I don't know how they do that. Takes me a long time to kind of figure out a position. I play with it, and then I'll use dimensionals to kind of push the ribbon into place and to hold it down. But yeah, I fuss with it a bit. So if you fuss with it a bit, you're in good company. You're not the only one. Okay, so I'm just taking those off. Okay. So, you know, if I wanted more dimension and later on I decided, well, I need the Gorgeous Scrape on there, I could just go ahead and attach that on, right? And then I'd have it popped up on a layer. Who knows? Sometimes I do that. So there's my thing. Now I've used one of those cute little gems right in the middle of the flower. This is a little bit of a sneak peek of something that I'm showing during Maker's Mojo. Just a little hint there. I'm not doing anything like this exact project, but I did use that image and I did color it in on some of the projects that I'll be showing as my alternates. Okay, so then that's going to go right on there. Isn't that pretty? So look at that, just alternate design with that crazy background that never in a million years, like you'd think, spray water on it, use it to clean the dang mask up, and it's going to end up with a really pretty background. So those are my 3 projects. Now let's bring in the ones that we made with the paste and see if they're even dry, and see how they turned out. So this was our first one. And it's definitely more subtle, right? Because we've got small bits of color as opposed to big swatches of color. This mask is definitely my favorite one, but this looks kind of pretty, right? I could see something with it. It'd be kind of a more understated kind of project than the ones that I have here. So there's that one. And of course we have a bunch of the white. We only did one of the black. There's that one. That actually, it's kind of like, it looks better in real life than it does on camera, but I think that's kind of cool too. It's just a bunch of texture, and you got some of those hatch mark elements in there in the mix. Let me know what you guys think of these. Here's another one. This one is still really wet because this is the last one one of the last ones we did. You can see the sort of swatches of color. I don't know that I love that one so much. Don't know if I'll use that for anything. That could be something you use and cut up for like a 3x3 card where it's just a small little background. Maybe you put a sentiment in the middle and you're not really showing off the background so much. This one actually turned out really pretty because you get the pattern in there and you can see the glitter. I don't know how much you can see that on camera, but I kind of like that one too. Let's see what else. And here is our last one. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I think I like the black the best, but you know, we got to see some different ways that this can show up if you use different masks and different amounts of color. Look how different those look. I guess I mixed the colors a bunch on that one. Maybe it was because I did it later in the mix. Anyway, fun, right? So fun. Is anybody inspired to play with embossing paste now? Comment and let me know. Let's see if there's anything else I did not yet show you that I was intending to show you. Oh, on this card, I did actually use some Wink of Stella on the flower. Looks really pretty, right? Yes, you want to play with embossing paste? Well, I will say, like I said at the beginning, I was inspired to do this in part because Jo used shimmery white embossing paste in one of her demonstrations. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I have to get that shimmery white paste. I have to use it. I have to do something with it. And of course, using it with these favorite colors is just makes me so happy. The simple pleasures in life, right? All righty. So just a couple little reminders and stuff before we close up. So I will have photographs of the finished projects and of these pieces on my blog post. I'm going to have a new blog post. So this project is already on my, this project. It's already on my website, but I'm going to do a separate blog post since I have these other new projects and the backgrounds, and that will go live on Saturday. What else? And of course, this video will be live on YouTube on Saturday and wherever you're watching, here on Facebook or on YouTube, and watching live, watching the replay, please share this post, follow me, tag friends, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, all those good things. Really appreciate when you spread the word about my paper crafting fun. And let's see what else, other reminders. Don't forget to sign up for Maker's Mojo if you haven't already. Let's just slide this over again. All the details are in the video description. I've linked, I think I have links for getting to the freebies so you can see the new freebies. I've got a link to learn more about Maker's Mojo and also to register for the event. Those links are in there. What else? Yeah, links to shop. Now, the PDF tutorial again for these projects will be next Wednesday in my newsletter next Wednesday. So you can look forward to that if you're a newsletter subscriber. And if you're not subscribed, there's a link to subscribe in the description too. And I will not be live next week because next week's Maker's Mojo. I'll be busy, but I will be going live the following week on Thursday, February 22nd. So 2 weeks from tonight will be my next Facebook Live. All right, guys. Show my face over here for just a sec. Thank you so much for joining in, for being part of my Melissa's Crafting Treehouse Thursday night paper crafting live. I appreciate you guys and love your interaction, and when you comment and say hello, just makes it so much fun. So anyway, I will see you either at Maker's Mojo if you're participating in that, or next week, let's see, next week at Maker's Mojo next week, or 2 weeks for Facebook Live on the 22nd. And hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. And let me see if there's one other little thing I wanted to share. My yoga teacher said it this morning. Let me see if I can remember, because it was really sweet. And I love it when she says this. She says, well, and in the context of creating, okay, so she says, oh gosh, am I going to remember it? More than what is it? More than anybody in the universe, you deserve your own kindness. I just love that. So you deserve your own kindness. So we each have our own internal dialogue and voice. When you're creating, when you're living, whatever you're doing, right? Be kind to yourself. You deserve it. All right, that's my little tidbit of wisdom or whatever, or thought via my yoga teacher from this morning. So until next time, thanks for joining me. Mwah! Bye, everybody.